Namaste yogis, and thank you for joining me for Yoga for Athletes. Today's video is going to be a quick wrists and forearms stretch, especially good for those of you who have been lifting or maybe training for your handstands or just doing a lot of vinyasas. Wrists are very delicate and we need to make sure that we're strengthening all the muscles around them so that we're not dumping weight into them, and also giving them the pliability and range of motion to be able to move in a way that fits our daily life. So we'll get started right away. We'll come onto all fours. Hands will come down onto the mat. Hips will settle underneath the knees. And we'll just start by looking at the alignment. So trying to roll our shoulders back, eyes of the elbows come in to face one another, and the lines of the wrists are parallel to the edge of the mat. And then we'll begin to spider our fingers. So you want to press into the fingertips quite a bit, and that shifts the weight slightly forward so that we can start to pour more weight into that first row of knuckles at the base of the fingers. A lot of times when we come into this pose, we tend to shift weight back into the heels of the hands so that we can lift up the fingers, and it doesn't make a difference. And when we do that, we put a lot of strain on the tiny bones in the wrists. So what we do instead is pour the weight slightly forward, engaged through the fingertips. And a good way to test whether or not you're here in this space is to press down firmly through the hand so that the whole of the palm is suction cupped onto the mat. And as you do that, pull the belly in, press down through the tops of the feet, squeeze inner thighs together, and then look down at the hands. It's a very small action, but as we roll weight into that first row of knuckles, we can begin to release the heels of the hands off the mat gently. You'll notice if you zoom in that I am shaking. It is a small action, but it's a very muscular action. Pressing the heels of the hands back down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Pressing into that first row of knuckles, firming through the feet, pulling belly in, and just lifting the wrist. It's a micro action, maybe a centimeter, maybe an inch, but you'll start to feel the forearms burn and fire and turn on. Releasing the heels of the hands down 1 more time. Press through the fingertips. Big inhale. Press through the knuckles. Lift the bones of the wrist so that the front of the hand is on the mat. The thumb is connected. And then we'll settle the heels of the hands back down. Bringing our hips on top of our heels, and we'll just shake out our wrists. Now, of course, if sitting like this is uncomfortable, by all means, shift onto one hip, cross ankles out in front, or extend legs forward, whatever seems to work best. Just moving through the wrists. And so now that we know how those muscles feel when we turn them on, we will begin to open the chakras of the hand. So we tend to think of the chakra system as just those 7 that run up and down the spine, but really there are chakras throughout the body. So if we want to open up the portals of the hands, we'll extend them forward, turn one palm up, one palm down, and we'll just open and close the hands, going as quickly or as slowly as you like. And again, you'll start to feel a little pulse in the forearms, especially if this is your cool down. And then open, expand, and turn them over, opening and closing again. Trying to relax shoulders down. So I know a lot of the times when we start to get tense, we take it here, but relax them down. And then pause. Turn palms to face one another, and you'll almost feel a repellent energy between the palms. This is an exercise that I learned from one of Dr. Anna Diajudas' book about the chakras, but you can feel that energy bouncing back and forth in between the hands. So now that the hands are nice and open, we'll begin to open the wrists. Coming back into that tabletop position. If you have cranky knees, I brought a blanket. You can slide a blanket or roll your mat underneath your knees for a little more support. But beginning to find that alignment once more. So the fingertips are connected, first row of knuckles ground down, eyes of the elbows point in towards one another, belly scoops up and in, and tops of the feet down. Beginning by rotating the wrists so that no longer are they parallel to the front edge of the mat, but now they're parallel to one another. Dig into the fingertips, making sure we're not into the wrists, and we'll rock side to side. It's a gentle action. Only move as far as you feel sensation, trying not to aggravate anything. And then pausing, turning hands back to center. We'll flip the right palm over. Fingertips will point back towards the right knee, pouring as much weight into that right hand as comfortable. Left hand stays active and engaged. You'll know if you're engaged by looking and seeing if your tricep is wrapping around and active. The eye of the elbow here still maintains that look to one another, and then you'll open and close the right fist as quickly or as slowly as you like, just so you feel that moving through. And then release, place the right hand back down onto the mat, and we'll switch sides, flipping left hand over, fingertips towards the thigh, locking the arm in place, and then opening and closing the palm. You'll begin to feel some sensation, maybe pour a little bit more weight in the hand if you have space. And then release. If you need a break here, just pause the video, sit back, shake your wrists out. If you have a little more in you, rotate the fingertips all the way back so that both hands now turn towards the knees. Grip the mat again, so we don't want to pour weight forward. We want to keep weight in that first row of knuckles where it's been the whole time. And then begin to shift weight back. So maybe tucking the toes, getting a little bit underneath the feet as you press back, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. So as soon as the shoulders come up, it's indication that we've gone too far. So spreading the collarbones nice and wide, belly in, press back, reach back. And then you can always ask yourself, what's the rest of me doing? So have I lost my engagement through the belly? Is my face scrunched up? Can I relax it? And then inhale, press forward. And turning the hands back to center, and we'll all shimmy that out together. So once more, sliding the feet underneath the hips, bringing the hands out in front, interlace the fingers, and then notice which thumb is on top because we're going to change it in a moment. So taking our Celtic weave, big inhale in, sit tall, shoulders stack over hips, and then we'll begin to move through the wrist. I'm just making a circular action moving through the joints. And then pausing. Changing the cross of your thumb, so interlace your hands as though you're holding someone else's hand. Pause for a moment, think, wait, which way was I going now? And then go in the opposite direction. And if you go in that direction, it seems too easy, then reverse it and go in the opposite direction. It likely means that we went the same way twice. And maybe you've been doing this with me for a while and you think, I can do both sides, it's fine. Maybe you're looking at me like, what? And you'll get there, no worries. Release the hand, shake the mat. Maybe change the cross of your feet or come to sit on sitting bones if that feels good. Maybe you want to get into the inner thighs as well. You can bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees splay out, and we'll work into the wrists a little bit more. So we'll interlace the hands in front of the heart, press palms forward, pull belly in, big inhale, lift up, reach up. And notice the shoulders, always being mindful of where they are in space, keeping them back and down rather than up and forward. And this may be too much for you. You may be here today, and that's okay. Just take it to a point where you're feeling it radiate from the tops of the shoulders all the way to the wrist. And we'll just take a big inhale here and exhale. Use the strength of the right hand to pull the left arm slightly right. You'll notice it's not a full lateral side bend, which you can take completely if you need to get into the underarm, feels yummy, but stay overhead, isolating the wrist. And then back to center, relax your face, and use the left hand to get a little bit stronger, pulling that right hand over to the left. Big inhale, fill up, and release. Come back to center, shaking that out. This next thing that I'm going to take you through is going to seem a little bit silly, but it feels really, really nice, especially if you are spending a lot of time on your computer these days, or you're on your phone, or playing Xbox. This is a really nice way to unlock the forearms. So we'll return to our table position, all fours position, hands parallel, wrists parallel to the front edge of the mat, eyes of the elbows in, and then we'll bend the right elbow. We'll place the forearm face up to the chest, and we'll walk our knees forward slightly. It doesn't matter which knee you use, whatever your range of motion will allow, but take your knee and begin to rub it up and down the arm. And as you manipulate the tendons and the muscles of the forearms, the fingers will begin to move, almost dancing of their own accord. And it feels a little weird. If you're particularly tight in this area, it will feel not so great at all. And then release. But it's a really great way to stretch through the arm. So once you've massaged that arm, just take your left hand and run it up and down the forearm, just massaging that out. And if you weren't able to quite get your knee there yet, you can take a tennis ball and rub up and down using as much weight as is comfortable for you. So we'll take that to the other side. Hands firm into the mat once more, bringing the left arm parallel this time, walking the knees forward and landing the knee on top of the forearm, letting it wiggle to and fro. Taking as much pressure as you like or as you need. And then pausing, sitting back, and running your hand up that muscle, just breaking up any discomfort that we've created. From there, one last time, interlace the hands, press the palms forward, and we'll just do a little bit of cat-cow. So seated here, as you inhale, we'll bring the palms up overhead. We'll press the chest forward, the belly forward, and draw the hands back. On an exhale, we'll bring the palms forward towards the front edge of our mat, hug our chest in, press our heart back, pull belly in. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, belly forward, shoulders back, gaze up. And exhale, pressing through the palms, heart comes back. Try to pull the fingers apart. 1 more time, big inhale, fill up. Reach up, lift up. And exhale, compress, squeeze front side body as you pull shoulders away from the spinal column. Inhale, come back to center, release the hands. Open and close the palms rapidly. 1 last time. And then extend the arms out right and left. Open the palms to face the front edge of your mat. Curl your thumbs into the hands and curl fingers across. Keep the thumbs facing towards the sky, and then begin to articulate the hands down. And it's an intense stretch. Feels a little yummy, a little awful, but overall it's good for us. And then release. Turn the fingertips into the palm. Slide the thumb over top. Bring the hands out in front, shoulders depressed down the back, belly pulled in, and you'll begin to rev your engine. And you can take that as deep and hold, or maybe it's too intense and you just flutter. Take it in a way that makes sense. And then release. 1 last time. We're going to get all the way from the wrists, the forearms, into the upper arms, and into the shoulders. This is one of my favorite stretches of all time. Walk the knees to the center of your mat. Extend the hands out right and left. Palms face down at first. Pull the belly in. Take an inhale. Rotate the thumbs up, back, and down. And as they go down, peel the shoulder blades in together. Press the heart up. Press the tailbone back. Start to feel as though it's an offering. Your heart's opening, but you're feeling this radiating all the way down into middle fingers. And then inhale back to center. Tailbone tucks down to the mat. Palms roll back over. We'll do that 2 more times. So as we inhale, articulating the palms up, thumbs go back. Heart lifts, tailbone presses behind us, and we start to squeeze the shoulder blades together, opening up the chest. This will feel really great if you have been doing bench today. Inhale 1 more time back to center, stacking the spine on top, palms face down. Last time, let this be the deepest one you've taken yet. Big inhale, rotate thumbs up, back, down. Press the heart up, lift the chin up, tailbone curls back, and thumbs move to touch one another as shoulder blades squeeze onto the back. Big inhale back to center. Rest hands down on the thighs. And just take a moment to feel out. Maybe open and close the hands, maybe roll the shoulders, just a few organic movements to see how you feel now as compared to how we started. Hopefully this has been helpful for you, and you will continue to do this over and over again. If you liked, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell and follow me on Instagram for all of my daily insights, as well as some fun yoga challenges where you can win great yoga props from some leading retailers. It has been a pleasure to practice with you today. Namaste.